stuff, and that's just
When we were talking
campaigns.
about those things, I'm like, you can totally do that.
Yeah, that's easy stuff.
There's something about that.
Hockey alert.
I just took Bill. I just took it. Thank you. Okay, all right, we're gonna get started. Everybody stand for the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. If everybody could make sure that your cell phones are either on silent or turned off, please. Okay, we're gonna get started with public forum first. I have Mr. Alexander.
I'm all set, thanks.
Okay. Yeah, why does that not look right? So is it Mrs. Capron? Or is it Mr. Curtis?
Me, one of them.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm off by one. One got skipped, so the floor is yours, sir.
So do we have a revised agenda tonight? Or is this it?
That's it.
So nothing else is on the agenda?
There's nothing else on the agenda. We have 2 resolutions that will be under new business by the superintendent, or by the board president.
Okay. Nothing else is on the agenda?
The agendas,
Okay.
what's printed.
So my question is why isn't our superintendent here tonight?
That's a question that you need to ask the superintendent.
Just wondering. So I asked you tonight where he is. So and you're telling me I'll have to ask him, so, you know, we can do that. But then again, we kind of know by the rumors that are flying around, board members here have been so negative and disrespectful to him. I just want the community to know this man got us through all the COVID BS while trying to be negative, or trying to navigate bus driver shortages, teacher shortages because of COVID. Well, on the board for the past 3 years, I've seen Mr. Corey spend many hours trying to figure out what's best for our students. The school was able to keep our K through 6 in school, while many schools did not, including Hannibal. And much, I'm just wondering why he's not here and how much this will cost the taxpayers if the rumors are correct. So we'll see at the next board meeting.
Anything else? Thank you. Okay, we're gonna move on. If we could go to E2, as there's no certified staff tonight. You should all have the amended agenda with the removal of B, as that resignation was rescinded. Got that? Okay, so I would take a motion for E to A through D without B.
A, C, and D.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Dates, and a second by Mrs. Bliss. Any questions on these? Okay, you ready?
Mr. Dates,
Yes.
Mrs. Kaiser,
Yes.
Mrs. Allen,
Yes.
Mr. Nodai,
Yes.
Mrs. Bliss,
Yes.
Mrs. Dingman,
Yes.
Mrs. Madigan.
Yes,
Passes 7-0.
thank you. Okay, so we have 2 resolutions added underneath G, unless there's any other new business. Anybody? Okay. We're gonna start with the resignation and the leave of absence of Dr. Corey.
I'd like to make the motion.
Thank you, Mrs.
Hence the reason I just says, why isn't this?
Mrs. Dingman
adjusted?
is the motion. Can I have a second, please? Thank you, Mrs. Bliss. Mr. Curtis, you're welcome to come to the next public forum to speak.
But that
Any
should have been
questions
underneath G.
or comments? When you're ready.
Mrs. Allen,
Yes.
Mrs. Kaiser,
Yes.
Mr. Dates,
No.
Mrs. Bliss,
Yes.
Mrs. Dingman,
Yes.
Mr. Nodine,
Yes.
Really?
Mrs. Madigan.
Yes.
Passes 6-1.
Thank you. Could I have a motion, please, for the other resolution, the appointment of an interim superintendent?
Yes.
I didn't hear, was that with you, Mr. Bates? Was that you?
I'm sorry.
I didn't know who said yes, or,
I didn't, more thought,
sorry.
I'm trying, I'm talking.
Make the motion.
Mrs. Dingman, and a second by Mrs. Kaiser, please. Questions? You ready?
Mrs. Bliss,
Yes.
Mrs. Dingman,
Yes.
Mr. Dates,
Yes.
Mrs. Allen,
Yes.
Mrs. Kaiser,
Yes.
Mr. Nodine,
Yes.
Mrs. Madigan.
Yes.
Passes 7-0.
Thank you. The interim superintendent is actually at the back of the room, Dr. Macalusa. If you want to wave, if everybody has an opportunity to say hi, or it's not a very big room, so you probably can see him from where you sit. He'll be here for the remainder of the meeting, which is a couple of minutes, but I'm sure he'd be happy to meet anyone that's interested in meeting him. Is there any other business by the board this evening?
Is this correspondence, the scholarship that was in the packet?
Oh, I didn't even see it. I think probably what we'll do is we'll put that on to the next meeting, because I'm not exactly sure when this is for the scholarship, you mean?
Yeah, it's just, it's a, you know, it's a thank you that, you know, needs to just be recognized.
Yep, so you want to read it?
Well, sure,
Okay.
if we want to put it on this agenda.
Yeah, no.
Doesn't it have to be accepted by the board, donation?
We should.
Yeah, and
It's thanking us.
that's why I'm wondering, because we just pulled it out. don't
Yeah, I
know
didn't even
whether
have a chance
this
to
had
look
been
at it.
Prior accepted or not.
But yeah, why don't we wait until the 16th so we can make sure,
That
we'll
we-
take a look at
that
this.
was- Yeah, because it does have to be accepted. I can't remember whether it was, or no one else can, the whole.
Right, it's not right under text. I don't-
Maybe it was for the 16th, and, but we're happy to accept money for scholarships, so. We'll definitely, it will be on a agenda, so, was there anything else from anyone under new business?
I went out to the law conference, it was right out in Syracuse, the NISBA Law Conference, and it was some nice presentations. There was some difficulty, just some of the orientation to get to some of the presentations, because it was so kind of spread out
Oh.
between a couple buildings. But nonetheless, if anyone's interested, I could get a whole, this was a very good packet of information. The title was What's New, What's Old is New and What's New is Old, Managing Familiar Themes in a Different Reality. And it deals with textbook censorship from a board's perspective, state ed department news, employee speech, relations with non-public schools, current state of special ed, and collective bargaining for 2022. So some great information, some great speakers that provided this. So if anybody's interested in having this as a resource, it was good. And then there's a whole packet on the special education update that was meaningful.
How was the turnout, you think?
Turned out in terms of,
Just people in general? You feel
it was
full?
It was full.
Yeah.
There was a lot of people there, you know. I mean, you know,
I would love.
and not for nothing.
Some of that.
Yeah, okay.
I'd love copies of
I'll,
that, please.
Yeah.
I'll give that to Missy. Not for, I mean, there were schools that had all or most all their board there, you know, that all traveled out for that, and, you know, it's so close by, it's nice, so. And
Why was it so spread out? What did you?
well, just because in the Ad Center, anybody who's been in the Ad Center, it was so many vendors in there. They only had 3 small meeting rooms, which got filled easily.
Oh,
too many
okay.
people, as it got
So
too
then they had
packed, people on the floor
That's
trying to listen,
understandable.
standing up to a presentation. And then over in the Marriott, I believe it was, the name of, where some of the other presentations were being provided. So you had to get over to there too, next door, or, recently next door. So, but it was good. So if you're interested, how many people might be interested in having this?
I think we all could use a copy, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if she wants to
All right,
maybe put it in the packet for next
I'll see
meeting.
Missy and leave a note and see if we can have everybody get a copy of that. Thank you.
Thank you for bringing it back, Brad. Anything else? Okay, I would take a motion at 7:10 to move into executive for a particular personnel matter, please. Thank you, Mrs. Bliss, and a second by Mr. Nodine. Thank you for coming.